Again, Doug here from X-Frames FPV, and today, well, we've got a build-out video for you. Now, this is on the California Quads Panda. This is the first time I've had any experience with this frame, this company, actually. And, you know, just right off the bat, I really like some of the design cues. It has this really low-profile 15mm standoff. He gives you enough room, gives you some of the components that you might want to use in this build, and I like that. Another thing I like is they include micro camera mount here, 3D printed, and then options for how you're going to run your antennas if you'd like. And you know, one of the things I've seen a lot of frames come across my desk, and in building stuff, one of the things that I really like is when a builder puts a lot of thought and emphasis into how everything's going to be laid out in the end product. You know, we've got a good my goodness, I can't get rid of antennas today. A good camera mount and a good way to mount not only your FPV antenna, but also your receiver antennas. So that just makes my job easier. It makes everybody's job easier in the build process. And I'm telling you, you can spend so much time in how things are going to be laid out and where I'm going to run the antennas and stuff like that. And is my stack going to fit? We're doing some modifications. We're going to be running a Hobbywing system in there. Going to do some modifications to get it to fit really nice and low profile in this build, and get rid of those pins that probably aren't the best way to mount anyways. So let's go to the tabletop and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so let's really quick go over the components of this Panda. This is again from Bear Quads. They're out of California, which is where I am also. First of all, we're running this 40 amp 4-in-1 ESC from Hobbywing. We have removed, make sure you can see that, we have removed the pins or the headers connecting, because we need to sandwich this really nice and tight so that we can get it into this really low profile build. You do it with some angle cutters, and you know, basically like here, like I have here, and you just want to do it really carefully. You know, one thing I did notice when I pulled the so it's got, you know, you've got the pins and then you've got this little surround that everything connects through. When I started to pull that off, these pins were so easy to remove, and when I got down to looking at it, it's because the solder joints were very cold. And what that means is that it makes it really easy. It's improperly soldered, made it really easy to pull it off. So in a crash, you know, it's definitely not optimal to use these. I use in the DYS system that I use, the F4 and the 4-in-1. I use a product called Bondic, and I've had good luck with that. If you're a racer or somebody that's a pro, you know, maybe it's not the best solution, but for just your everyday flyer, it works really well. And on my own stuff, I haven't had any problem with it at all. So that's the 40 amp 4-in-1. And then this is the F4. Also from Hobbywing. I bought this basically in a kit, not in a kit, but in a setup that they both come together. And see, a nice big F4 chip. So we removed the header on there and on the bottom. So same thing with this, although these were not cold solder joints, so didn't have any problem there. As far as camera, he wants a 16:9, so we're running the RunCam. I believe they call this the Sparrow, right? So the Sparrow has a 16:9 and OSD. And so we're running that. For VTX, we're running the TBS Unify Pro. This is, or the Unify, Pro HV race version, meaning it goes from 25 to 200 milliwatts. And it's great. I never go above 200. I know, you know, there's a lot of guys now that are going to be running some long range systems, and you know, then you can say, well, it might be good to go with the HV system that has all the way up to 800 milliwatts, and if you do that, that's great. But for me, for where I fly, I haven't had any issue. As far as receivers, well, this is the new RXSR. This is from FRSky. It does have telemetry. It's a really mixture. I don't know if you can, I think that's in focus. It is so, I mean, that's my thumb. I mean, I have big hands, but it's very small. It's always hard to get an idea of how big things are on screen. But anyways, then for motors, so this, like, I don't know if I said in the intro video, this was sent to me from a customer and said, hey, I want it built up. He wants it built pretty much the same way as Flying Bear builds his. I think that's his name. Ken is his real name, but I think he goes by Flying Bear. And he is one amazing pilot. And so he kind of wanted something laid out the same way. And so we're using the same motors. These are the, obviously, California quads. And this is 2205, 2550 kV. I suspect that these are Brother Hobby, basically V2s, much like the ones that I've used on multiple builds and on some of my own stuff. And so these are great motors. 2500 kV on a light frame like this is going to be a real screamer. So one of the things I wanted to show you, let me kind of pull everything out. Sorry if I keep on, the audio goes up and down. It's because I'm trying to look at the camera and see my shot. So the way I'm going to do it, and I talked to Ken, and it's the way he does it, we're going to mount the 4-in-1 this way, which is sideways. It would normally go in this way, okay, and the flight controller would mount this way through the pins. We're not doing that because we need to get in here really nice and tight. So we're going to mount this way, obviously put some plastic nuts on it, and then these run up through, see if I can show you here real quick on camera, through the flight controller like that and suspend it, okay, all 4 of them. And so that's how the stack is going to go. You can see there, once it's all said and done, it's going to lie just perfectly. Let me make sure you can get that in the shot. Just perfectly underneath these small little 15 millimeter standoffs. And so that's how that's going to mount. We're going to mount, obviously, our camera in the camera mount. That goes without saying. We're going to hook up the 4-in-1 to the flight controller through the wires that come out the side, and then they plug in. I believe it's right here. Yeah, that's S1 through 8, I believe. And then as far as VTX goes back here with the antenna going through here, and it'll mount just like that. Let me make sure you can see that. So it's very easy build. And then the receiver will go on this side, so you can still get to the bind plug, although this will run stick tuning, so he'll be able to tune everything using his sticks and using the Betaflight OSD. So let's just make sure you guys can see that there. What I'm going to run here is a Pagoda from Lumenier, the AX2. And I'm going to use the Stubby, and it's literally about this big, and it's a perfect solution for this build. I don't know for sure if that's what he uses. I saw some pictures. It looks like that might be what he uses. But my gosh, I think it's going to be a great match for this. And so, you know, as far as the frames, there's some really nice things. Let me pull this off, so some of the stuff so it doesn't fall off. There's some really nice things to this frame. I do like that he includes these soft mounts, and they basically just float. I mean, it's not just a soft mount, it floats the flight controller. So, you know, that makes it really nice. The layout of the frame is really, really well laid out and designed. I talked to Ken today, and this, you know, like I said, this is my first experience, and I just congratulated him. I thought it was a really good design with all the little cues thought of, you know, I say cues, I don't even know why I say that. But anyways, let's just go forward with the way I talk. If you guys watch my channel, I'm sure you know I have my own language. People call it, you know, my friends have always called it Dougisms. It's my own way of talking. Just ask my wife. Anyways, he has, on top of having this SMA mount back here, the nice way to mount your antennas. One will go out this way and one out that way, and that's not only just makes it clean, but it's also going to make you have better reception. And so if you're prone to dropouts, you know, with some systems have a little more dropouts than others, then this is going to take care of that. Obviously, we have the FB camera mount up here for the micro camera, and it slides right in there. You saw running 4mm on the arms, and it is 4 individual arms. And then we do have this extra mount here that just kind of connects everything together. And then these mounts, gosh, what are they? I keep on forgetting stuff. My goodness, I'm getting old, and it shows in these videos. You guys are going to put in the description for me what these are called. But anyways, a lot of times you have to install these. This came, when it came in the kit, it came pre-installed, and it's not like that those are hard to install, but it just makes these countersunk little nuts here a lot easier to not have to hassle with, right? So overall, I like the design of the frame. The 15mm, if you pick the wrong components, 15mm standoffs gonna be a pain in your side. If you pick the right components, as I did here, I just happened to already spec these, not knowing that that's what Ken flies, Flying Bear flies. I like the Hobbywing system, and then found out that's what he flies, and that's what he suggests for this frame. But you pick the wrong components, they can be really hard, these 15mm. But as you can see, you pick the right components, take a little bit of time, remove the headers off the tops and bottoms, and do a little bit of spinny on the 4-in-1 ESC, and it makes it super simple. So I'm excited to get this built. We'll get it built. We'll take it out into the field, get it tuned, show you some flight footage, and kind of give you a final thoughts. Will be the next video. Will be already built with some final thoughts. And if I have any notes along the way, I'll kind of, as far as any build concerns or anything like that, or anything that came up during the build, I'll let you know. So guys, I appreciate you a ton. I appreciate everything that, I enjoy talking to you guys on forums, or, just on my channel here. And so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. My email is in the description. You can also check out my website, xframesfpv.com, and there you can get an idea of my builds. It's really, it's not my pictures right now. I had it built professionally, and the pictures aren't mine yet. And the process to do it is more time consuming than I can afford right now, sadly. So those will be updated, but you can get an idea. And like I said, just call me or email me or IM me through Facebook or whatever you want to do, because that's, I think, the best way to go over a build anyway, so that we can find out exactly what you want. This guy, from what I understand, he is a professional pilot in real life. But he used to competitively fly helicopters, and he's wanting to get really big, right? Just dig in deep into this industry. So we're going to build this, and I'm going to lock it in for him and get it where it handles as good as it can, so that he can have a lot of fun with it. So guys, thanks again. I hope you get some time to fly.